So if you somehow didn't catch my previous video on the Creepshow Art allegations, which this is a part 2 to, you should watch that video as it goes very, very deep in depth on everything that's been accused here. I cover all the base allegations, but I don't go in depth on them. I just cover the main points, show the main evidence, and today I'd like to go more in depth on a lot of the points made against Creepshow Art, in particular some about her usage of slurs, and also I want to go in depth on I never thought I'd be able to say this. How she may have planned the Hopeless Peaches drama, and how Peaches may have been set up by Creepshow Art intentionally from the start in an attempt to either get content, or to try and damage her reputation, because Creepshow Art didn't like that Peaches was making similar content. Now, today we're going to go through all of this, and I'm going to give you my point of view on everything that's happened. Now, I've consulted multiple people about this, and everyone that's looked into this in depth, from IT professionals to computer science students, everyone I've spoke to says that while it is possible to get an IP from an email, specifically Gmail, it's very unlikely for you to be able to spoof in this way, and also you wouldn't be able to get the IP for all of the devices, and somehow also have the exact device models. Furthermore, unless it was malware, this simply wouldn't have been possible, but given it was over multiple IPs and devices, you can't get malware on multiple devices. That would basically be implausible for some hacker to do that. And finally, when I looked over the whole thread from Lolcow on how they catch people out, as far as I can tell, their main way of sourcing this information is from cookies, which are unique to a computer and device, and as such, I believe that they do have base evidence to act on Creepshow Art here. And I believe that given Creepshow Art made videos on Lolcow in the past, they could probably use the time she logged in from that IP and the devices she used to track her current information, and as such catch her out on this whole situation. Though, quick blanket disclaimer before I get into this, I have to put these disclaimers on all of these videos to make sure that everyone is aware before I even continue this video. I don't want to be reading any comments saying, wow, I'm so disappointed in Creepshow, as at this point these are allegations. This hasn't been proven without a doubt, and Creepshow is currently looking into legal action to apparently sue the person that's been doing this. Now, while I don't believe Creepshow personally, you should take your own judgment, and this video is simply just the viewpoint based on the information we have at this current time. You should look for more information from different videos, and you should judge your own opinion from this whole situation. My video is simply here to give my point of view, and to look at the current evidence, and to consider the plausible outcomes, of which I think there's only two, and one of those is the way more likely one, that Creepshow is lying about this whole thing, and that she's guilty. But, with that being said, before I begin, if you're new to the channel or haven't already for some reason, if you could go down below and click like, click subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment, that would be highly appreciated. If you can't tell, these videos take a lot of work, and we are very quickly approaching 30,000 subscribers now. I believe we're only 2,000 away as of recording this, which is absolutely insane. The previous video blew up, and we did like 500 subs in a day, which is crazy, and I genuinely appreciate how much support you've shown me on the channel. These videos are basically my blood, sweat, and tears. I spend almost all day working on them to research them, develop them, get other people's points of view, and make sure that they turn out in a way that is the way I want them to be. So to see you guys supporting them in the way you are is amazing, and if you haven't supported me already, please do just subscribe to help out, turn on notifications so you don't miss uploads, or just keep your eyes out for 6 PM GMT, 1 PM EST every day whenever I upload. Also, feel free to check out my other social media linked in the description to support me on more platforms, as obviously I'm not just here on YouTube, and you'll get to see a lot more about who I am as a person on my other social media. Finally, you can check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, and join button all down below if you want to support me financially. We've had a few channel members, and to those people, I want to thank you. I'll be doing more member-specific things on the channel soon, because I genuinely appreciate the people who've put money into this content. But with that being said, let's get right into it. Firstly, I'd like to cover an inconsistency in this account that I've had a few people point out to me. That being that in one of these screenshots, this account claims that they just discovered who Creepshow Art is. Though, this is a complete lie, as if you go back through the post history, they post about Creepshow way before they apparently discovered her, which means that they're either covering their bases, believing that they're anonymous, or just using it as a way to make her videos seem better and act like more people are interested in them. I don't really know. I had a few people mention this as some sort of definitive proof, and as such I just wanted to highlight how this doesn't actually make any sense with the timeline, and seems to be something they just said to get people in the conversation to listen to them. And now I'd like to go in depth on some of the responses Creepshow Art has made since being called out on all of this. So the first one is Creepshow Art made an Instagram post. In the Instagram post, she details how she's going to be solving this legally, and she blames a bunch of her friends for cutting ties with her, or stepping a bit far away as they can't trust her at this point, or not believing her on all of her apparent innocence to this whole situation. Now, to me, this seems very victim-blamey and almost manipulative. People aren't going to trust you when all of this evidence comes out and your only excuse is I was hacked, considering you've claimed that you've been hacked over 3 times now, and one time they just changed your profile picture to be glitched and banner to be glitched, and then changed it back whenever you needed to write your response to this situation, and now someone's just apparently grabbed your IP for 3 years across multiple different devices, which doesn't add up to me at all. But Shannon also deleted every single video on her channel that relates to, in some way, the person she's accusing, Amy, being her stalker, and also doing this sort of behavior. Now, this is something that I wanted to note because I know a lot of people said this is an admission of guilt from Shannon. Now, while I do believe this is definitely suspicious that she would just delete all the story times, almost like she's trying to cover her bases, cover up the information that would make it seem like she was lying about this whole shit, and so that she can try paint a narrative about who this Amy person is, but at the same time, if Creepshow is planning some sort of legal action, you would probably have to take down these videos in hopes that you could actually press any legal charges, as if people don't know, when you speak about something like this publicly, it normally muddies the water for any legal investigation, which is why I'm thinking maybe Shannon took those videos down so that she could take legal action against this Amy. Now, while that's just a theory, and while it's probably implausible and probably wrong, I thought it would be good to give Shannon the benefit of the doubt there. But now let's get into one of the many reasons that I think that this account definitely is Shannon. I'm going to quickly go over everything that this account has said about Hopeless Peaches and Toby Majestic before, during, and after the whole drama, which led me to the conclusion that it was Shannon, as there's no way that anyone else would have known Shannon's kind of connection like this, had all this inside information, and had this kind of grudge against Peaches and Toby before the whole drama happened. So this post is a post of Shannon harassing Peaches, describing her as someone that befriends YouTubers, rips off their content, says what they say less interestingly, and then when that person puts them on the channel and asks their followers to follow this clone, they turn into a bitch about them, which seems very manipulative. It's a way of Shannon painting herself as the victim against Peaches, when in reality a lot of what Shannon said against Peaches was completely untrue, and I'm pretty confident that my video, the Hopeless Peaches documentary, proved that quite well, that a lot of the points Shannon made against Peaches were misunderstood, misconstrued, or simply wrong. Also, that's such a shitty way to put yourself in a pedestal while simultaneously putting someone down about their content and making it seem like you're just so much better than them. But this is by far from the first or only post about Peaches. I'll show a bunch on screen right now. Shannon has said a lot about Peaches, and a lot of it is very inflammatory and just straight up disrespectful to someone that she apparently considered a friend, and on multiple times publicly spoke quite positively about. Seems very manipulative and quite shocking. There's this one in particular where Shannon links one of Luke's videos, the one where he accuses Peaches of lying, and uses some of Shannon's screenshots, and she says that Luke shows a lot of damning screenshots. Now, considering I've looked at those screenshots, and when I pointed it out that none of them really added up, this seems to me at least like Shannon is directly endorsing and agreeing with a lot of what Luke said in his video, which is a massive yikes considering everyone and their mother knows how bad those videos were, considering they labeled Peaches a lot of wrong things, and when you look through those videos, none of the screenshots make any sense with the narrative he's trying to paint. It's just Shannon misunderstanding, and for some reason promoting a video that spreads a false narrative. There's also one comment in particular that genuinely rubbed me the wrong way. Now, I'm guessing this is in reference to Peaches and a lot of the situations that Shannon's been involved with, but she mocks people that seem to become suicidal when they get involved in drama. She tries to make it seem like they're faking it and spreads the narrative that she believes people like Peaches are suicide baiters. Now, this is massively disrespectful. Shannon obviously understands, unless she's completely ignorant or simply just dumb, that when you deal with a very high profile and stressful situation, it's going to cause you to struggle mentally. It's not something outlandish that a content creator would be depressed or suicidal after having to deal with one of these situations. And the fact that Shannon doesn't understand that for all of her body positivity, mental health awareness, and all of that shit that she preaches really upsets me. There's also posts with Shannon using autism as an insult, which is just disrespectful and ableist. There's one where she mocks pansexual people, which is weird, especially considering she is pansexual. There's also posts where she demeans a woman, calling them a pick-me woman. And this is the kicker, considering that Shannon completely ignored my emails when I brought to attention that my documentary came out. Shannon actually spoke about my documentary on this account, where she says that she, quote, paused on the part where I threw a screenshot on screen of an email between me and Creepshow, which I did have her consent to share, by the way, and I said that Creepshow did a bad job with researching because she didn't know that Peaches had apologized to Camilla. And then Shannon says that if you read the email, Shannon said that since Peaches continued to do what she apologized for, that didn't matter. And then Shannon calls me blatantly dishonest. Now, this is a massively dishonest and wow, what a way to twist the narrative in your favor. If you actually looked at that segment of the video, Shannon posted publicly saying that neither her or Camilla ever received an apology from Peaches, which was a downright lie, as I showed Shannon that Peaches had apologized to Camilla. Now, it doesn't matter whether Shannon personally disagrees with the apology or whatever else, as she still apologized, so it's completely a lie from Shannon to paint Peaches in a worse narrative, to say that Peaches never apologized, and then when called out for it, she just says no, because Peaches continued to do what she apologized for. It's bullshit. And it still just goes on. There's posts where she's mocking other people's sexuality, trying to insinuate that they're faking it, which highlights to me once again how completely fake Shannon's online persona is when you look at her doing this sort of shit behind the scenes. She constantly mocks a lot of people in these posts based on shit that they can't change, which is disgraceful considering her public presence is known for being the person that's always supporting people for their figure, for their personality, for their mental health, all of that shit. It also makes me laugh that Shannon, the content creator that parades around as proof that anyone can do YouTube, is also a content creator that acts so above everyone else on her content, when all her content is literally just grabbing a footage clip of her in Clip Studio Paint drawing, slapping it straight into Vegas, and then sticking her audio on it, which is not a lot of editing. She barely ever shows screenshots, and it doesn't seem like she puts much work in her videos, but it's crazy that she thinks it's her place to mock other people's content and tell them that they're only successful because they got in the YouTube algorithm. To me, Shannon comes across very egotistical and private, which is funny, once again, considering how innocent and wholesome she acts in public. She seems like a mirage, or for lack of better words, a mask, that's pretending to be a nice person to get the most viewers supporting her. But to be completely honest, I see a lot of comments from people being like, I'm so disappointed. Did you really expect any better from Shannon? Like, genuinely looking at Shannon, seeing a lot of her content, getting to see her personality, did you really expect any better from Shannon? Because for a long time now, I know me and a lot of other content creators have not been confident on how great of a person Shannon is, especially with how she handled the Peaches situation, how she handled everything in any of her videos, and how she always avoids criticism in one way or another, like for example when she claimed that her channel was hacked and all they did was glitch out the profile picture banner and disable her ability to make community posts. Shannon to me comes across like a manipulator that will lie to all of her audience, and that's simply my opinion, and I'm not accusing Shannon of anything, I'm literally just discussing the allegations presented against her, but in my eyes, that is how I view Shannon. I view Shannon as the type of person that will lie to her audience, will put on a mirage, and will act like a dick in private while shit-talking people. But what do I know? I'm so unfunny that I owe Omnia $5. I could really just go on and on and on about how Shannon verbally berates other people, gloats about how much better she is than other people, and how she becomes more popular than everyone and gains a better reputation after they call her out. But really, all you really need to see how the public is viewing Shannon right now is looking at her subscriber count. What do you see? Because to me, all I see is a bunch of people that are immediately losing all of the trust that they placed in Shannon and unsubscribing. If you haven't noticed, Shannon's lost like 10,000 subs already. She went from over 504,000 subs to 496,000 as of recording this video, which is a huge decline in Shannon's support, and to me represents everything that needs to be said about Shannon and her trust with her audience. She's made up so many stories, she's told so many mistruths to her audience, and she's claimed to have been hacked so many times now that every time she says it, less and less people believe her. And it's genuinely devastating to see a content creator that seems to be standing for all this good, and acts like one of the kindest people, and seems to be genuine, seems to be raw, seems to be themselves truly, wholly, and completely turn out to be someone that apparently is nothing more than a doxer who will hide behind a mirage of lies and will continue to make up a bunch of shit excuses to try and avoid any backlash for her behavior. But that's where I'll end this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, as I post every single day on various different topics. Now, Shannon, if you'd like to reach out to me, as I'm guessing you watched this video like you've watched my Peaches videos, and like you seem to watch every other video about you given all these thread posts, please do just reach out. You have my email, we've spoken in the past, and I'm willing to hear you out on basically everything you have to say. I'm not here to spread mistruths about you, and if you believe that you're being slandered in any way, reach out to me. I've made it clear that everything in this video is an allegation, and I want it to be treated as such. Shannon would handle these situations way worse than I am. Shannon wouldn't discuss this as an allegation. Shannon would take this as truth, seeing all of Shannon's previous content at least. But yeah, if any of you want to support this channel, you can subscribe to help me get to 30k, you can check out my Twitter to help me get to 3k, and you can join my Discord to help me get to 2k. Obviously the numbers don't really matter that much. I just want to have a bigger community of people that I can just engage with and get people that see my content and support me, as it genuinely means so much to me the amount of support I've received in recent months. These last 2 months have been insane for the channel, and I appreciate everyone who's stuck with me and continued to support me the whole way through. But with that being said, feel free to check out my Patreon, Ko-fi, and join button down below if you want to support these videos financially. Now, I've been investing a lot into these videos recently, from buying my Shure SM7B, to my stream deck, to the ring light, to the soundproofing, to every other thing that I've purchased for this channel, from the new camera that I'm working on getting, to everything else. So, if you could just help give back to me just a little bit by donating at least like $1, that would genuinely be appreciated. You don't have to donate anything at all, but if you'd be willing to, it would mean a lot. With that being said, I'll see you next time, thanks for watching, and peace.
Says she wanna rock with it like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap with it like me. We can catch a fly. Says she wanna rock with it like me.